Good morning from my little meditation corner here in Jerusalem. I just came out of my sit and it wasn't as quiet as I was hoping it would be because I was mulling over the chaos that's happening in America right now. And the thing that disturbs me the most is how much the most destructive state of the human condition is being elevated and praised and encouraged throughout the culture. And it's something I want to address right now because it's something that I see deeply hurting and destroying the lives of my clients. And it's why they come to me, because they want to get out of this state as much as possible and experience joy and peace and freedom. And that state is the state of victimhood. And the challenge with being a victim is that by definition, the focus of your mind is always on someone else. So to give you a mini grammar lesson, in order to be a victim, you have to be the object of someone else's actions. So if you remember from grammar school, the person who does something is the subject, the thing that they do is the verb, and the thing they do it to is the object. And victims, by definition, are the objects. They are the passive recipients of the subject's behavior. And being a passive recipient just basically sucks because you're just waiting for someone else to save you. So as much as you're sitting in a stance of being pained by someone who you believed wronged you, because you're so powerless, you're also waiting for someone else to save you. And all of the focus of your energy, like all of your vitality, goes over there mucking around and pointing fingers at all the people who wronged you. And they're also waiting around for those other people to come and save you. And the only way to save yourself from that status is to take that finger and point it here. That no matter what you've gone through in your life, and I don't care what color your skin is, how old you are, how much money you have, or where you come from, life is challenging for every human being on the planet. We've all suffered change, loss, disease, hunger, conflict. We've been hurt. We've been frustrated. We've experienced failure. That's just part of the human condition. Life is hard. And when we go through a challenging experience, do we put our energy into pointing over there and saying, this person wronged me? And maybe they did, but the question is that where we put our focus? Or do we turn the finger around and point to myself and say, okay, I've gone through this challenging experience. What can I do to make my life better today? What can I do to make someone else's life better today? What can I do to make my community's life better today? What can I do to make the world better today? And when I do that, I live in my center and I live with power and with joy and with pride. And when I'm pointing to someone else, because all of my vitality is over there hovering around them, my vitality is not with me. And when my vitality is not with me, I feel empty because I'm all alone. I've abandoned myself to go hovering over there and pointing at those bad people who wronged me. And it doesn't matter what they did, and it doesn't matter if what they did is really bad. What matters is if all of my energy is over there with them, I'm not with me. And when I feel empty, it sucks. I feel sad, my body collapses, it's lonely. And oftentimes what we do in the presence of that loneliness is try to overcome it by making ourselves artificially big. And we can make ourselves artificially big by getting really angry and really violent. And then we engage in behavior for which we're not proud. And we can't stand and be centered and be excited about who we are as human beings. And when we're angry and violent, we don't make our lives better. We don't make our neighbors' lives better. We don't make the world a better place. Being a victim always makes me the object of someone else's wrongdoing or someone else's kind-heartedness, but it never makes me the subject of my life. And the question is, if you are ever feeling like a victim, turn things around and ask yourself, what can I do to make my life better, to make other people's lives better? But even bigger than that, one of the things I notice is when I'm in a victim state, I tend to focus on how other people did me wrong, and I never ask the question, what have I done wrong? And the reality is, I've done a lot of wrong things. There are so many ways that I screw up on a daily basis. And am I going to focus on my screw ups and how I can be a better human being? Or am I going to focus on other people's screw ups because it's so much easier? I can sit here and point at how everyone else in the world is doing wrong. And you know what? That's really easy to do because everyone in the world is doing so much wrong. But the question is, can I point back at myself and say, how am I doing wrong? And how can I be a better person? Because I can't control other people's behavior. No matter how violent and how angry I get, I'm not going to change other people. I can only point to me and say, how can I do better today? So my request to you is the following. If you're feeling like a victim, turn it around, but even bigger. If you see other people playing a victim story, don't feed it, don't encourage it, don't cheer them on. Ask them, how can they make their lives better today by being the subject and not the object of their lives?